Welcome, friends. It's Miss Gisa, and today we have a very special returning author and illustrator, Joanne Roach Evans. Thanks for being with us today, Joanne.
Hi, Miss Cheese. It's so fun to be back with you again.
Well, we are thrilled. We talked last time at the end about coming back on when you had your new project. Since starting this channel, with COVID, and I've gotten to meet so many wonderful authors and illustrators, and I just feel so privileged that you sent me a copy of your new book, Little Piping Plover.
Because Gisa edited it for me. She read it and she
And
sent me back a few edits, which was really helpful.
well, I love plovers, and I was so excited about this project. And so I'm really thankful that you're here again with us today.
Thank you. I was obsessed. I've been obsessed about this project too, so that's why I couldn't let it go.
Well, I didn't even know about plovers until one day, 2 summers ago. I was walking on the sand, on the shore with my daughter and my sister, and we saw this little bird that was struggling, and we helped it to the lifeguard station, and they said, "Oh, that's a western snowy plover." And I was like, "Oh," and they're threatened here in California. And so that day, I love the way they like run to the water and then run back, and they're just the cutest little birds. And I
Yeah.
did some research on them, and then when you told me you were going to be writing about a plover that lives on the East Coast, that just made my day.
Sounds like
So
you have a story to tell though. Oh, so how did you help it?
we took it to the lifeguard station,
You
and
just picked it up?
we had a little bucket. We went back and got a little bucket,
Okay.
and like a little sand bucket, and we took it to the lifeguard station, and they called like
The wildlife
special,
people.
yeah, to come and pick it up because they are threatened. So they want to try to help them.
And what was wrong with it? You remember?
It was this little leg, but I don't know.
Okay, something was wrong.
Yeah, something was wrong with its leg, and it was struggling. So hopefully they were able to help it.
Do they ban them on that beach? Do you know? Did they put the
Oh,
bans? They don't. Okay.
I didn't see any bans. And like your book goes into how you guys tape off areas of the beach. Like that's at least the beach that we were at, that was not happening. So,
Yeah.
and you have signs like, well,
Yep.
on the
Oh, yeah.
beaches about being careful when
Yes.
they're there, when they're breeding. So we don't have any of that. So it seems like there's a lot more education on the East Coast about trying to.
Not everyone reads them though. You know what I mean? We have those signs and it's like a lot of people don't even see them. But
Yeah.
I noticed that when I was we were at the beach last month, this particular beach, and there was a sign right on the path, but this is only in the state end of it. This is about, I think this beach is about a mile and a half long.
Okay.
And there's during COVID, because a lot of people weren't out, they were nesting on the main beach where the boardwalk and the casino is. And so that's why they had to cancel the fireworks too. I was just telling you before this, they had to cancel the fireworks, and people are upset. It was quite controversial when they first started to protect them, but I think people are getting to know more. So it's good. It's good.
I'm like flabbergasted. I'm surprised that they canceled the fireworks to protect these little birds. I mean, how amazing is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're supposed to have them for the 4th. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping that they've had a few thunderstorms before this. So
Right.
maybe.
So they canceled
Really
the fireworks
colorful one.
last year.
So they have fireworks every Wednesday night all summer.
Oh.
So they've canceled quite a few of them already. But the 4th they're gonna go off. There's a lot of people that, when you read the Facebook chat, and you got quite a few that are like, I can't stop my life for a little bird. Like, you can do without fireworks one night, I think.
Especially since you have them every week.
every week. But it might be their only week up the beach, right? So
True, true.
anyways,
So tell us where this story takes place.
Okay.
Again, it's Little Piping Plover.
Yeah.
Where does the story take place? Tell us how you decided to write a story about these little creatures.
okay, the story takes place in Hampton Beach in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And it's at a very, very popular beach. I should have the figures, but you know, thousands upon thousands of people are on that beach at any given time. What happens is they'll actually have volunteers that will help walk the beach and shadow the babies to try to keep them from getting in trouble. So I had spoken to a woman who was down another beach that was protected. It's more of a protected area. And she said, well, they'll avoid humans. And I'm like, yeah, but at Hampton, they literally can't. And I've talked to several of the people and they said that they saw them run over blankets. I've been there when they're running in between people. So, I mean, I had heard a little bit about piping plovers before. I had worked with a group in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and I used to do seashell walks with them. And the woman who we were able to stay in a house out there, it's at the Goldenrod Foundation. And the woman started being aware of the plovers and trying to protect them because she found a baby plover dead in a tire track. So baby plovers, their instinct is when they're scared is to freeze. So they just freeze and you can't see them because their camouflage is so great, right? So that started the ball rolling. And she said, you know, pretty much we got to get the big trucks and everything off the beach. Now, this beach is a very long spit, this particular beach. It's Long Beach in Plymouth. And there is a section in it, there's a section that you can't walk past sometimes. That's why a lot of people want to take their trucks out there and their off-road vehicles.
Okay.
Well, they ended up working with Audubon and getting the trucks off the beach, which obviously a lot of people who have enjoyed that for years were very upset. I think they opened it up like one day of the year for them to be able to do that.
Okay.
But it's really a really, really important area for a lot of wildlife, not just for the plovers. So when I take my family vacation, which is every summer, it's usually mid-August, okay? Mid-August, most of the birds are already gone, or end of August. But I was on the beach. All right, I'm gonna try to get the bud. I was on the beach and I saw one. I go, oh my God, it's a piping plover. And I don't even think it could fly yet. And I was astounded. It was this little one. That was the first one I saw. I don't know if you can see. There she is.
It's adorable.
So sweet, right? So, and so tiny. And so when I'm on the beach, so, and this thing is trying to walk around, and this is the size, you know, these are people's feet. These people were walking by. They do not even see this plover.
Yes.
They don't even see it.
Nope.
And anyway, so now I'm obsessed because I'm like, oh my God, how did it survive? So then I started to learn about the volunteers that will shadow it. And the lifeguards are supposed to be aware of it, but I've talked to many lifeguards, they don't even know what the plovers are. They're like, what? So anyways, and I've heard some sad stories too. I don't know if I want to relate them, but they can't even outrun a child. Okay. So a child in Seabrook next door killed one because it was running after it, because they run after, right? You know how children and people, they run after the sanderlings, right? So in my Marie bird book, the sanderlings are the ones that all run along the shoreline and they can fly. So people chase them, dog chase them, and they don't think anything of it, right? And so they think that this little one is the same thing. But the thing is that for a summer, they can't fly, not until the end. It takes a month or two to fly, to be able to actually fly.
Yeah.
So it's all alone on the beach. And I'm like, and I remember I did a little drawing and I wrote my little survivor. And that was the first thought that maybe that would be the book. so that really, that was it. Like that was the moment I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get the word out, because subsequent summers, I have stopped children chasing it with fishing nets.
Mhm.
I tried to tell them why they shouldn't chase it. I don't think I even got through to them like I would have liked, because they literally said to me, are we done here?
This book is a nice piece of education for families coming to Hampton Beach, right?
I hope so. And there's actually no bookstores up there that I can even get it in. So I wrote to Fish and Game, the non-game division, and I wrote to them, and I haven't heard back, but I'm like, I want to get it into the hands of families. Obviously, because if they know about it, they're going to want to protect it too. I
I
would think,
agree.
for the most part,
I
right?
agree.
So anyways,
Maybe the volunteers who are shadowing um, the little plovers can help with that.
yes, I would be happy to even donate books.
Yeah.
My aim with this is why I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I wanted to do something to help. I can't be there because I'm in central Massachusetts. And so I really can't be there. I mean, I'm there on vacation for that week. They've already fledged,
Mhm.
and it's my time to relax too. I almost think I couldn't be there because I would never rest.
Yeah.
Like I would
Be on
not
edge,
rest.
right? Trying to
I'd be
save
like,
them all.
where are they? Are they okay?
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I came home and I thought about it, and because of the way I wrote the other books, more traditional, more like this is the facts, this is what I want to say.
Mhm.
That was my first thought about how to write it, just to write all the details about its life and everything else, life cycle and all that.
Yes.
So then I did a little research, and I look on Amazon, and I see what's out there, and there's actually quite a few books
Are
about piping plovers. There's a handful,
there? Okay. Okay.
and one of them in particular, I think it's called Piping Plover Summer. I should know the woman's name. Anyways, I could even give you the links. Beautiful, beautiful book. And I thought to myself, and I do this to myself a lot, there's no reason for me to do it. It's been done. Right? So
Yeah.
then I get on the phone to my girlfriend, who's also an artist and a writer.
Yeah.
And she started to talk about it in a whole different way. So I thank her first, because I feel like this book would have never got off the ground if it wasn't for the talk we had that night. And she started to talk about the point of view of the bird. And she's more of a fantasy writer, like they talk, the animals talk. And she said, have the seagull teach it to fly. I go, no, the seagull will eat it. No. So because I'm like,
Realist, like
yes,
educational,
I'm like
realistic.
in
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
nonfiction,
Yeah.
and but that's fine. But she made me feel was, what is a young child going to feel or see on the beach? They are not going to know about everything. I mean, they don't need to know about everything,
Right.
about all the dangers, about all the people that are working for the animal. They don't have, for the bird. They don't have to know everything. What I wanted to focus on was, what could they experience on the beach? Like, what would that be? What would they maybe see and they could relate to? So that she gave me the keys to get into the story,
Yes.
to keep it simple,
Yeah.
to keep it at the beat, to keep it sort of in a smaller bubble, so to speak.
Yes. No, Joanne, it's funny because that's exactly what I love about the story is that um, it focuses on the plover. It's very age appropriate. I mean, I could use this in preschool, and I think elementary school teachers could use this story too. And your illustrations really bring, sometimes for children, nonfiction, they don't tend to want to pick up nonfiction stories. They like the fantasy stories, they like the
Yeah,
fictional type of stories.
yeah,
But I think your illustrations, along with just the age appropriate language, and it's simple yet really informative. that's what I liked as a teacher and as a parent about this, about your book.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I want to keep it that way. Like, even, I didn't want to scare, I don't want to scare them. I don't want to, like, it's a very serious thing. And I mean, the animals are in danger all the time, you know, and so even like when I did the beach ball, my son said, why beach ball? And I said, I know, nobody sees hardly a beach ball on the beach anymore,
Yes.
but a beach ball is so much softer,
Yes.
more colorful,
Yes.
right? And I mean, a soccer ball or a football, that would be devastating, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I needed to keep it light, but I also wanted to
Make the point.
get the idea. There's, and even the foot, like, I don't say anything about that human foot, but that human foot is dangerous, right? So I didn't even say that.
Yeah.
it
You don't
just-
need to, though. I think the kids will get that, right?
I
Like,
hope
I don't
so.
think you need to show a squashed
No.
birdie, but
No.
it's great because it teaches kids that they can actually do something to keep them safe.
Yes, yes. Just even being on the lookout. That's the new signs up at Hampton this year was, watch, listen, be on the
Yeah.
lookout.
Yeah.
If you get close to them, forgive me, I'm gonna squeeze this thing.
Okay, I was going to ask you if that was a plover and where you got that, because I obviously need to order one.
I know, because you do that when you do your videos, you have your
I
animals.
love them.
Oh, it actually looks very cute like that. I'm probably gonna scare my cat. Anyways, when you get close to them, you will hear that. Like, so I could jump ahead, but that just happened to me. I recently went to Wells Beach in Maine. And I said to my husband, I can relax. I don't have to take photos of the birds anymore. I could just, enjoy being on the beach.
Yeah.
So I was doing my own thing. I knew there were plovers. So on Wells Beach, they actually put like fencing and cages around them. And they do it up in Kennebunkport and in Agunquit. So several of the main beaches, they will put like a wide mesh, enough to keep predators out, but the birds can go in and out. So I was down by the water and I thought, I saw a few adults, but I didn't even know that the babies would be on the beach yet. I didn't think that, I thought I was there too soon. And I was looking for rocks. So I went up the beach a little bit farther and I'm looking for beach rocks, right? And I got my head down and I'm squatting and all of a sudden I hear that and I look up. There's a whole plover family around me. And I'm like, what an idiot. Oh my gosh, here I am. Be careful, give them space.
Right. And
And
they're
I'm
on
just sitting
you.
there going, oh my God. And I just didn't move and I stayed there and I got to keep the phone out and I just filmed them for a minute, but I was over the moon because there was 3 little babies. And I don't know why, I didn't expect them to be in the rocks, but they were in the rocks and they were trying to find food or whatever, right? They were looking for little critters and things. And they weren't bothered by me. They really hardly even noticed me because basically I stayed still. So say if you're on a blanket, I've heard this, you're on the beach and you're on the blanket and you're fairly still, they're not bothered by that. The minute you stand up and you're moving, then the alarm call goes out. So
Sure.
but all of a sudden I heard that pip and it was dad. I think it was dad that came over because mom, I think, was with him. And so dad has a darker mark on his neck and mom has a lighter one that doesn't usually reach in the middle. That's how you can tell. It can be hard though when you're trying to get a focus on him on the beach. But anyways, I heard that pip and I'm like, uh-oh, he's worried about me being in the middle here. And I just stayed still and then just let them go by. And then I got up carefully and walked by. It was absolutely thrilling, but I didn't even see them. So here I am saying,
They're so small.
watch out, be careful. And I'm just like moseying along, but that was a gift. I felt like that was a gift to be among them like that.
Yeah. So great.
And I hadn't had that experience while writing the book. I only would see one that was already a couple, like 3 months old or so. on
Yeah.
the beach. So I would already see them older. The only way I was able to see the chicks when I wrote this book was through video. And I give those two photographers and videographers credit in the back of the book. Jim Fenton Photography.
Okay.
He is the one that took the picture of 3 little babies in the nest, and I sketched from that, and I wrote to him and said, do you mind if I use it? Because I feel like photographers don't get their due, especially on the internet. Everyone thinks, oh, if the photo's on the internet, I can use it, right?
Joanne, trust me, I have a dear friend that's a photographer and she has to deal with that all the time.
And even artwork. I know they think, oh, I can take that artwork. It's on the internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me started. So anyways, I wanted to give them credit. Sean Carey of Migration Productions, he had a video. And so I would watch the video and sketch from it. But even that, I thought I better ask permission. And he sent me more photos.
How wonderful.
So the babies, I really have to thank them because I didn't at the time actually have my own photographs of babies.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. See, it's interesting for kids and families to hear the process
Yes.
that you go through, because you're not only the author of the book, you also did all of the illustrations.
Yep, I need to do those illustrations. And most of them are set at Hampton Beach, but I did take photos down at Cape Cod in Massachusetts. I have photos of them that I would change. Like this one, this was an adult, and that adult was actually down the beach, and I took a photo of it, but I needed one with eggs. So then I set the stage with the eggs and the shells.
So which part of the book is your favorite? Do you have a favorite illustration in the book or a favorite part of the story?
Oh, the baby in the nest. I mean, I love his. I had a lot of fun though. Like, even, I don't know if you can tell this, but I did a little collage with this book. So I would draw them and cut them out and glue them in. I would do the background. And then this one hiding. So a favorite part, I don't know, I love the baby.
I do too.
And this was one of the first illustrations I did. And that bird was in Agunquit, I believe, up in Maine. But then I, took a photograph of Hampton Beach, and there's a few clues that it's Hampton, so you would know.
I like seeing your scenes because all of your books take place on the East Coast, which looks very different than the West Coast. So
Yes.
paying attention to all the little details that you put in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And this was Cape Cod.
Beautiful.
So I did a couple of those, early on. A lot of times I work things out by, going to the beach, seeing the birds, and I don't necessarily, I maybe wasn't looking for them, but I would be there and, oh, there they are. And oh, the one's hiding. There's one hiding, and they were hiding. So, the page where it says, can you see them hiding? Because that's what they would do. So right here is, look like an adult, look like mama, right? Yeah. And that's exactly how I photographed them. And then I just put like a little beak and a little fluff behind the grass. So that's the baby.
So your process of illustrating, you don't take a sketch. I imagine that you had taken a sketch pad to the beach and you were sketching. So you actually photograph, and then from your photographs, you illustrate.
Except for some. So okay. This one I sat and sketched Hampton Beach, and you can almost tell, like, the perspective is a little funny. That's because I was sitting sketching, and then that's from the sketch.
Okay.
So yeah, I would, but a lot of times it's a photo and I come home and then I sketch. I have to draw it first before I can put it onto paper.
Yes.
Watercolor paper, before I start painting. So yes, I do some of the sketches there, but I don't always have the time.
So you snap a picture.
Photography is, everything for me. I mean, I just love it. I'm not a professional photographer, but I would consider it my hobby. I love it. So hence I
Well,
love Instagram.
you and you have a lot of hobbies. If families and children watching can find your YouTube channel where you take children on treasure hunts on the beach to
Yes,
find.
yep.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, so when my first book, Seashells, I don't think I have it around me.
I'll
When I
flash it.
first, when that first one was published, someone said you have to, how you're trying to figure out how do I help market, and because even if you have a professional publisher, you're still expected to do a lot, right? Marketing. So one of the things they said is you should have video, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I like to go to the beach, and I like to find seashells. And so we just started shooting videos, and I'd be at the beach and say, this is what we're finding. And as I did the other books, I will try to talk about seaweed. I will try to,
Yeah.
show you if I'm finding crab carapaces. So I try to add to it. Now, we do not have like real professional equipment. I have a little camera that we do the videos on.
All you need.
On my phone, we do them.
Yeah, it's great because kids, it just helps them to be inquisitive, and next time they go to the beach to see what can they find,
Yes.
or even if they're not at the beach, even in a forest, right? But and then for those of us who don't live on the East Coast, we get to see different kinds of seashells that we don't have here, and different kinds of seaweed. I
Yep.
learned so much from your books, and I think it's your books are just right up. I think any educator, but especially Montessori educators, because we like the realistic, like, illustrations and stories. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely educational. Everything I've done so far is with that aim.
Yes.
I
Yes.
guess I can't, the teacher in me.
Yes. So where can our families find all your books?
Okay. Well, you can go to Amazon.
For
You
those of
can
us who are
also,
not on the East Coast.
right, anyone. So, and you could even ask your own. I publish through Amazon. So this is a self-published book. And I published through Amazon, and I elected to have a wider distribution so that most distributors should be able to get it. Although sometimes I have bookstores tell me that they can get it and some can't.
Okay.
Okay. But Amazon now, I have an Etsy store, ETSY, Etsy. So
Yeah.
if you want a signed copy, that's the place to go.
I will
Go to
list all of
Etsy.
this in the show notes also.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But most of the bookstores, I have a lot of bookstores local that, I could list them if you want me to, but
Sure. I mean, if you want to give me that list, I will add it to the
okay.
notes. So
Yeah.
people
Because I don't
can.
know. If
Yeah.
I'll probably miss someone if I try to list them, but it's
Yeah.
basically, any place that I can reach, I will try to get it in that store.
Great.
Otherwise, they could have it and I don't even know about it. That can happen too. But any local bookstore in New England should have it, should be able to get it. And again, yeah, Amazon.
So if families want to find your other books, they'll be listed here.
Yeah.
All right. The question I've been waiting to ask you: are you working on another story?
I am. And it's last time I talked to you, you said to me, what's next? And I said, wildflowers. And at the time, I couldn't get this one out of my mind, so I had to put that off. So that's where
Yeah,
I'm
I
at.
think you privately may have said, because I remember you talking about, like, you had this idea about a plover as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
put the
So
plover first.
the plover just needed to come out. Like I really do feel like it's so relevant right now that I want to reach people. And so that one really was like, do it, get it done.
Yeah.
So I was
So
very motivated.
are you in the process of already starting the wildflowers?
Yeah, I started my first painting, so it's on Instagram. I almost brought it down with me, but yeah, I started the first painting, and again, I have a lot of photos that I've been taking over the years because when I first published Seashells, actually before Seashells was published, there was a publisher I sent to, and he said, I'd be interested if you have a series. He never ended up publishing. He actually went bankrupt. But what I did was I sat down and I thought, okay, what could I do if this was a series? And Wildflowers was on that list.
Okay. That's wonderful. I follow you on Instagram. I missed it. I'll have to go back and look at your first.
Yeah, I just posted, it's not done yet, but
Okay.
it would be the first spread. It might be the cover. I think it's the cover.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. It is
Well,
fun.
When you finish, would you like to come back and talk about your process with
Sure.
Mr. Awesome? Yay.
Hopefully have a plainer background. Something.
Well, we look forward to your next story, and
Thank you,
I
Gisa.
want everyone to know that all of Joanne's books are so great, so informative. Even if you don't live on the East Coast, you're going to love them. And you can find our other interview together on the channel.
Okay.
And I think you should go buy all her books so you can follow along to my read alouds.
Or you could ask your library to get them too.
Yes, that's right.
That's another good one, right?
That's right. Yep, I love the library. That's where I spent a bunch of time in my childhood as well.
Yeah, me too. Love books.
Me too. Well, Joanne, thank you so much for
Thank you.
telling us about your new story, and I love it, and I'm so thankful that you sent me a copy.
Oh, thank you for helping.
Anytime.
This one, I really feel like I needed a lot of people to help read it, and a big thank you to my editor too, who did a marvelous job.
Yes.
And she's a marine biologist.
Yes, and she has also edited your other stories, correct?
Yes, she has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's actually a scientific editor for the Navy.
Oh.
So she's really, yeah, she's quite wonderful.
Well, if you have some, if she has an Instagram or a website, send over the information. I'll add it to the notes as well.
Okay.
Find
All
her.
right.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. Okay.
Thank you so much, Joanne.
Thank you, Gisa. It's so nice to be with you again.
Always great to be with you too.
All right.
See you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to like and subscribe to support our channel.